Fellas, we got new Unchained cards and they are crazy, if I can say so myself. I am actually a pretty decent Unchained player, I would say so myself. It was the first deck I picked up in Master Duel and it took me to Master 1, which is something, I would say is that much. When it got support during Snare Guys format, I just abused the hell out of it. When Fiendsmith came in, I made variants. I have like also a pretty fun fusion slop fiend pile that I use with it. You can actually do a lot of silly stuff with it. If you wanna see me using it, leave a comment. But for now, new cards. And without talking way too much around it, let's get into it. We got new cards. Let's start with Unchained Ogre Shara. Um, Before I read out every card, let's just say that much. I will first talk about each individual card, what it does for the deck, and then I will speak about them in the context of new support cards, engine that we can utilize, etc. So keep tuned. Unchained Orgashara is a level 4 Fire Fiend effect monster. 1500 attack, 2000 defense. Isn't really something special. It's a little bit of a war, which is quite nice. But this card is kinda crazy. During your main phase, quick effect, you can discard this card. Special summon one fiend monster from your hand, then destroy one card you control. If a card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, other than Unchained Ogre Shara, while this card's in your graveyard, you can either special summon this card, but place it in the bottom of the deck when it leaves the field, or add it to your hand. This card does two things that are just truly insane for the archetype. First things first, it can shuffle itself back into the field, so we have a more resilient resource game with Unchained. One thing that the deck quite struggles with is we can run out of gas during the end during more advanced back and forth games that go like to turn 6 or something. Just because we run out of things to special summon from the extra deck that are extra from the deck that are actually worth summoning. So having just a name is nice. And more importantly, it's can give us another push. It makes our going second plans more resilient. I don't really see this card as a turn 0 enabler because it's kinda a 2 card combo-ish turn 0 enabler, but later more of that. And the fact when we got something else on the field, like let's say, I don't know, let's say we something silly. Let's say we play Bestial for what god reason ever. We can special summon any fiend from our hands and pop, let's just say Magnemite. Like don't blame me. The Magnemite is just vibing on the field. Let's just say raise like that. But just get that into your hand. When we control anything else, and it gets only better when we control Unchained cards, we can cheese out any fiend monster from our hand. This card technically works very well with Yubel cards. Because what does Yubel do? It pops out their own cards. And technically, we can use this to summon Yubel turn 0 to get Spirit of Yubel out or whatever. I don't know crap about Yubel. I hated that archetype for like a year straight just because how they utilize Unchained in that. But you get the idea. The fact that it can recycle itself to be discard material later on, etc. Crazy. This card is has the potential to be a huge staple in Fiend decks in general, since any destroy effect works to activate their graveyard effect, not only Unchained cards. So let's just see how this one goes. This is very, very S tier for the deck in general. Next on the counterparts, Unchained Ogre Shama, level 4 Water Fiend, same stat line. If this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Unchained monster from your deck, except Unchained Ogre Shama, then destroy one card you control. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except Fiend monster. This is genuinely very huge, just because it's the first Unchained monster in the entire archetype that does something on summon. I don't crap you. Every other Unchained monster doesn't do anything on summon. Okay, technically Abominable Unchained Soul lets you discard a card to pop another card on the field. But except for that, not one main deck Unchained monster grants value when you summon it. This is basically something the deck very needed. It's an in-archetype tour guide from the Underworld. It's technically even a better tour guide from the Underworld, since, yes, it lets you only special summon a level 4 or lower one, but when you pop that level 4 or lower one, you can get to the big boys either way. So basically, Shama summon, I don't know, like Rakea pop effects, special summon Sharvara from deck. Basically, this could be a potential main line. Or like Unchained is a very modular deck, so it depends very much about your hand, what you summon from deck, but usually I can see it like that, and then you link both off into Yama, add Arua, pop the spell trap you set with Sharvara to just pop off even more, to just get started. It's crazy. It's very, very crazy. So this makes this card also very good. But it has a second effect, of course. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect other than Unchained Ogre Shama, you can special summon one monster from your hand or deck except Unchained Ogre Shama. You can special summon one Unchained. Sorry. This is common. This is the common Unchained effect. It's nice that he has it. I was a little bit curious when I first read Shara. Maybe that's Shama. Shama. There's an A in here, you just can't read it. I was a little bit curious if he would behave also differently than the other Unchained monsters, considering Sharvara and Shayama are both very unique in the archetype. So I'm glad that he has two very strong effects, but I don't think you will pop him that much. But one thing that makes it insane, one weakness of Unchained was when you try to imperm Tour Guide from the Underworld. Unchained could play around that by using Sharvara, but you wouldn't get any value out of Tour Guide. With Shama, you can actually gain value from that. So basically, imagine this interaction. You normally summon Shama, your opponent chains infinite impermanence, targeting Shama. You activate Sharvara in your hand, or, wait, Shara. Basically both work. You special summon them, or discard, etc., depending on what you have. Pop your own monster. Shama special summons someone, pops that monster that was special summoned. Then Shama's second effect, because he was popped, special summon a new one. Then you have a third body with Sharvara, or since something got popped on the field, you can special summon Shara from graveyard, but it gets shuffled or you add it back to your hand, depending on what you want to do. This is insane. Your opponent went -1, didn't do anything. The infinite impermanence situation goes crazy when this set gets released. Holy. But yeah, I'm just very, very curious about that. Um, but the card's very straightforward. I think there isn't really that much more to say about this specific kind of situation. It really gives Unchained the possibility to play around even more hand traps. The archetype is extremely resilient in that regard. Just because you have that many ways now to dodge targeting negation. Basically, the only card that really hurts us is Ash and Ghost Spell. Sadly, those two are everywhere right now. But it's will be a time till this set gets released in Master Duel, so let's just wait what's gonna happen till then. Next up, we got a new Link 4. Unchained Enma Lord Yama. Oh, I love that name. He's a dark level. He's a Dark Link 4 Fiend. 3k attack. Needs 2 or more monsters, including an Unchained Soul. So pretty common Unchained Link monsters. During your end phase, you can target up to 2 Fiend monsters in your graveyard that were destroyed and sent there during this turn. Special summon them, but you cannot special summon while you control either of those face-up monsters except Fiend monsters. Do I need to say anything else? This effect is crazy. This effect is crazy strong. Do you know what it means to special summon any 2 Fiend monsters from your graveyard? Just as a friendly reminder, this thing is a fiend. This thing is a light fiend. I truly think Nightmare Griffin will make Fiendsmith Unchained the dominant variant. Just because Griffin is insanity. The fact that this thing is the fact that this thing does hot shit nothing is insanity. But okay. What does Griffin? We all know it. Monsters, special sump monsters that aren't calling can't activate their effects. That's the main appeal. You have like your spell trap recycle thingy, but that's won't really come up that much. Maybe it will come up a little bit regarding on how much the combos will change, but basically Griffin is now even more revivable. It was really resilient just because you destroy Griffin. Okay, Bozo, graveyard effect from Yama, special summon him back. So even if your opponent manages to out Griffin twice, you can get him back every turn. It's insanity. And our second target, the best other generic fiends we can use in this deck, Abawa Ku the Lifeless Shadow. I'm till today stunned that this card did nothing in the entire lifespan, really. Even though it's crazy strong. It works, synergizes extremely well with our archetype. Since it's a Dark Fiend, we can actually summon it off the effect of Rage, of, where is he? Of Disaster, or of Anguish. Though we can link summon Abawaku. We can't link summon Griffin on your opponent's turn, but we can get Abawaku. And she is very interesting. This is why I think the add back to hand effect from Shara is so great, because she can work as discard fodder on every turn. So we can basically use Abaoku's effects for free, since she always needs to discard one card. Basically diminishing the cost to nothing. And what does Abaoku? We can discard a card as a quick effect and perform one of these two actions. Either non-target destroy any card on the field, or we can banish her during the end until the end phase and special summon one dark or light monster from our graveyard. So, which means even more Griffin. Yay! We summon Floodgates! I genuinely think Unchained will get Griffin banned again, but either way, like I said, we can get Griffin, but we also can get back Rage, we can back Anguish, we can back Abomination, we can back Disaster. these two new Link monsters, the one that I didn't even read, we can all special summon them again. I'm not really that familiar with more floodgates. Like, a thing we can do is probably summon barrier statue. The dark one was called Barrier Statue of the Abyss because it's a dark fiend. Technically, it works perfectly with our deck. And while I think this can work, I don't think this will be the way to go, especially in best of one, since the dark attribute is the most presented in the entire card pool of Yu-Gi-Oh! Which makes it the overall weakest barrier statue. There's a reason only the wind one got hit. Even though I don't know how Marin says, no, not Marin says, Atlantean. I don't know how Atlantean didn't got this one banned, and I don't know how Magnet Warriors didn't got this one banned, and I don't know why either or one of these cards is actually legal, but this is a rant for another day. Which is more important is, I don't think this one won't be will be good, just because I believe um, Griffin will be a better target to as our floodgate. I don't really like the concept of turning Unchained, a very, very modular high skill ceiling deck, into Floodgate Turbo, but nonetheless, we are extremely hand trap resilient. We can utilize Fiendsmith. We can play around Nibiru by throwing in Fiendsmith first. So we are resilient against destruction effects. Basically, the only thing that works to remove Griffin permanently is Dominus. What was it called? Dominus, the new one, the for dark something decks. Dominus Spark. We can target one monster your opponent controls and banish it. This is great. This is very, very. We can utilize this card. Sort of. I won't really play it, but technically it works. And it is a death sentence to Griffin. So basically, that's the only hand trap we have to be aware of. Since basically everything else doesn't hit us nearly as hard. One impulse doesn't stop us, one ash doesn't stop us. Imperm, Veiler, the Ghost Girl one, all of these three don't really hurt us. Nobody plays Spiral, even though we would get crippled by the effect. And yeah, I'm very curious about how this will turn out. I think Spark will be one of the more present hand traps when it comes out, just because it's the hand trap for dark and light decks. Every pure dark and light decks can use it. Uh, uh, like even something absurd like Yami Mitsurugi can perfectly play into this. It's very, very strong. So we have to keep an eye on this, and just because our best Unchained monsters are water and fire, I won't play this. But if you really want to, you can. But then it won't be really a hand trap anymore. So do what you wanna do with it. I think the only Dominus card we can play is none of them. We have chaos typing and we have non-chaos typing. Basically, not one Dominus card allows us to play. Or, oh no, wait. No, wait, yeah. We can play Purge. Not Purge. We can play Impulse. Impulse technically doesn't cover anything we want to have, and it can work in pure variants. It doesn't work in Fiendsmith variants. So this could maybe be one if you want to have a thinner engine style of deck. This can work, but I don't really think it will do that much. Um, yeah, I think a pure Fiendsmith package is probably better than Impulse just because it gives us the ability to push so much more. And Wave King Caesar's just kinda cracked, not gonna lie. Then, I didn't even talk about this card. Okay, Lord Yama. The second effect, if this card on the field would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy one card on either field instead. Nice protection effect. Both effects are once per turn. It is good. Is a good grind game enabler. Isn't probably the best thing we want to do to just go ham on our opponents, but we can now utilize more our own pop effects to disturb our opponent, since Yama, when he revives a fiend, he has the optional effect to additionally pop a card we control. So we can redirect. So basically, Yama in Graveyard becomes a monster reborn and a pop, which is nice, since this one pops immediately when the destruction effect that will destroy this card resolves. So it doesn't chain, which is insanity. Good cards, very much needed. I think Unchained Abomination isn't really that great anymore. So let's see how this one will turn out. We got also a new Link 3, Unchained Soul Rage Abominator. Two-headed doggo, so we can give double the head pets. This is very, very strong. I'm just joking. Dark, Link 3, Fiends, 2100 attack. Two monsters, including a Fiend monster. So, Fiendsmith? Just saying. Arrows, one down to the sides. Is good. I like this because this plays even better into Nightmare Griffin actually. Since more link more arrows to point stuff to. This is nice. Most Unchained monsters only have downwards and upwards pointing arrows. I think he's the first Unchained monster that actually has sidewards pointing arrows. Let me just double check. Yeah, everyone else only points up or down, so this is basically a first. And what does he do? If your opponent special summons a monster face up, you can target one of them, destroy one fiend monster you control, and if you do, negate the targeted monster's effect until the end of this turn. This is great. This is negation. We Unchained actually got negation. Second effect, when a monster effect is activated on the field and you control a Link 4 or higher Unchained monster, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, destroy the monster that activated that effect. Let me just double check something. Yeah, okay. He only special summons from graveyard, so we don't get banishing recovery. This is very, very interesting. I will come back to this card later. I think it's more important to speak in context of the last card, which is Unchained Syncretism. I knew what this card does. The only two cards I actually know what they did were this one and Shara. So let's see, what does this card go so hard in Overframe? Let's see what this card does. First off, I'm 90% sure this is the dog from Dominus Spiral, and you can't convince me otherwise. Second, first effect. Target two face-up monsters on either field, including an Unchained Soul Link monster you control. Immediately after this effect resolves, Link summon one Fiend monster using only those two monsters. This is probably one of the best trap cards Unchained has, considering Unchained has already two pretty good trap cards. Escape of the Unchained. Target an Unchained you control, card your opponent controls, pop both. Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. Basically Monster Reborn for the archetype on a trap. Both of these have also the default Unchained text. If this set card is destroyed by card effect, oh sorry, you can special summon one Unchained monster from your deck. It's great. Both of these, every Unchained spell card has this, even Abomination's Prison. So strong, genuinely strong. And this card also has this text. If this set card is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon one Unchained monster from your deck. Pretty great. And I think this is what will crack up Abominator to 11. Since, basically, we have a new Rage target that isn't SP Little Knight. Rage, Link Summon, anything. This is the most best part about this one. 2 monsters, including a Fiend monster. We have absolutely no restriction whatsoever to Link Summon away. This is nice because, yeah, let's just phrase it like that. I maybe have lost the game because I wasn't able to link off in Blue Eyes White Dragon my opponent controlled. And to that in particular individual, I want to fight you again. But no reason to get the hatchet back out. What makes it great? You link summon into Rage Abominator. Your opponent already went -1. Then, if your opponent special summons a monster, we can negate it. This is great. But to make this awesome, we need to control another Fiend monster. Because what we can do is negate something, pop sets other Fiend monster we control, and then we can actually link him off again with Syncretism. Or Syncretism? Yeah, I think Syncretism. We can actually link him off again to get out a Fiend monster. Wait, target 2, immediately have to link summon 1 Fiend monster. Yes, we aren't even locked on Dark Fiends. We can use any Fiend monster. This is actually new. The default Unchained restriction got a bit lifted. So we can basically link summon him off with anything else. And any link for Fiend monster is now in our repository. So I think our default targets aren't really there anymore. I think the only thing that prevents this is we can't like go for, okay, we only have, I don't know, Rakir on the field, we got brutally interrupted. Let's just wait for my opponent's turn. I got this trap in my hand. I can link that one off, summon SP, and just go for like a triple interruption or one trap card. I think this is just mainly to prevent this stuff. But either way, I think the main idea that we want to pursue is link off Abominator to special summon either Lord Yama or Abawaku or Nightmare Griffin, since he is in the dark, which was a problem before, but now it's not. So as long as our opponent doesn't control a Unchained Soul Rage Abominator, we can link summon into Nightmare Griffin and floodgate our opponent. You see why I bring this card so much up, or do you? He will become one of the best utilize of this deck that we will ever see. Especially since he can actually set the trap back, which is funny. Because when you get Link summoned, he can set back Syncretism by discarding a card. And do we have this card fodder in our hand? Yes, we have. Isn't that great? We This deck will turn Nightmare Griffin into a fortress, I will say that much. Um, this was it for the support. Last is Overframe for Unchained Abomination. I I think it looks great. I really like this card. I like the concept of it. He's a very nice game closer, but he lost a lot of value now just by the release of other more powerful Link 4 fiends. I think you will maybe still see play as a one-off, just like stated, he could be a game closer, even though I think Lord Unchained Enma Lord Yama will be better as an as a grind game beast, just because during our end phase we get to revive stuff. In combination, those two are great. I don't let me anything. Just because you play one doesn't mean you can play the other. But if you want to play Fiendsmith, the extra deck gets tight pretty quick, and yeah, could get a little troublesome. Let's just phrase it like that. My take on this support, it's absolutely S tier. Unchained will definitely become meta in some shape or form, just because of the 2 level 4s. The other 3 cards are just like the cherry on top. I always said that Unchained was one good 1 card starter away from just being an absolute demon of an archetype. And now we got it. An archetype that specials mainly from deck extra decks, so we are extremely weak against Furaulos. We are sorta weak against Meowls and sorta weak against Perulia. But else, I would like to have your opinion on this deck, fellas. This was like a little bit more, unusual than my other content. Please let me know what you think about this. If you want to see more of that, do you maybe want me to go over actual combos with this deck or whatnot? Um, if you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. Ah, God damn it. I'm sorry, but I need the algorithm boost, okay? Your boy is desperate over here. Either way, fellas, I hope I could entertain you. And just remember, they actually turned Sharvara into a waifu. Goodbye.